All right, so we all know the quote, you are the combination of the five people you spend the most time with. But it's one of those quotes that's been said so much that it loses its meaning and people don't really, it doesn't hit hard, right? So that's exactly what the quote for today is. Sucks for you. I'm going to explain it. So, something that I struggled with for a little while, or I guess didn't struggle with, but I didn't try, is I moved away to college and I didn't really try to go meet people. That wasn't my goal. My goal was to work in silence, to be a lone wolf per se, which is quite interesting because I quickly learned that that is just not reality. It's not how it works. And I've met a lot of really good people, and I will say that um, at the core of it, people are going to be where you find the most purpose in life, outside of your career. And the reason behind that is because that's how we resonate. Like, there's a lot of studies that have been done that show clearly that when you're engaged with social like interactions, whether it's with a community of any sort, you actually live longer. It expands your life because humans are social creatures, right? We're supposed to live in tribes. We're supposed to see people. We're not supposed to be alone all the time. And all this is to say, it would be super valuable for you to surround yourself with people who make you want to be better. And the reasoning behind that is because then you will actually have motivation that is outside of yourself to get better. So deep down, you want to get better. You have this vision of your ideal self, and you're going to try and follow that to get better. But the reality of the situation is most times what happens in your imagination is far better than what will actually happen in reality because our desires and our imagination are the result, but we don't think about the work required to reach that result. And oftentimes we end up not actually wanting what we thought we wanted because we wanted the result, but we didn't want the work. And you can't want one, but not the other. They come in a package deal, right? And so by being friends with people who make you want to be better, it gives you that motivation to push through that work required to be better to then get the results that you want. And so I guess a good example of this is a good friend of mine recently. He's very knowledgeable on the whole health and fitness thing, which is hilarious because that's like what I would say I'm probably first or second most knowledgeable about because that's what I like to do, right? Longevity, fitness, working out. And it's very rare that I find somebody that is as knowledgeable on the subject as I am. And it's nice because I now have somebody that is better than me at something. And so not only does he challenge me to be better, but he also makes me want to be better. Not in a competitive way, but in a, oh, wow, these people are out there. They exist. And now I actually want to be better. Not necessarily because I want the outcome and not the work, but more so because it seems fun, if that makes sense. And so really the core of this is how do you meet those people that make you want to be better? Because of course everybody wants the perfect friends, but how do you find perfect friends? Because in my experience, it's pretty hard to do so, right? There's either drama or whatever you reasons you have, right? It's hard to find good friends that are like that. And that I say to you is I have no idea, which sucks because making this video and maybe it's supposed to be useful, but I really don't know. And what has worked for me is absolute voodoo. So I've met the most influential people in my life by accident. So typically, the people who I have closest to me, I would say the three people that are closest to me right now, every single one of them, it was just a right place, right time. There was no like, I went out and socialized. It had nothing to do with that. They came to me or I went to them and we magically just became friends for some random reason. Whether one of them was like my neighbor or because one of them just like sat next to me in class, had the same name, like things that you can't plan out and it just kind of happens, and like you can't explain or calculate that, right? But what I will say for all of those is I was being my authentic self, and when you are your authentic self, you attract people that are similar or like your authentic self. If you're putting on an act all the time about, like, you're being fake, I guess is the technical non-technical term for it, but like if you're putting on an act all the time and you attract these people, they're attracted to that person who you are acting like, not the person you actually are. And so, of course, there's going to be drama because you're going to end up not being who they thought you were and whatever. And so, the more authentic that you are, the more the people that you attract are going to be more like your authentic self, and you're going to get along with them better. You're going to be happier because in trying to be somebody else, we have a little void inside of us that deepens because we know that we're faking it in some sort of way and we just don't feel happy. And so being your authentic self and still having friends makes you joyful because you feel accepted, and acceptance is a very important thing in human psychology. We want to feel accepted. And so what I can say to you is just be your authentic self, go out your daily life as authentically as possible and follow your heart. And eventually you will run into these people, whether they run into you, you run into them, whether that means following your heart means becoming more intentional to try and go to social events, meet people. Eventually you'll meet these people. And then your job in these meet these people is to just be yourself. Like eventually you will meet them. And it's valuable to choose because you'll meet a lot of people that you probably shouldn't be around as well. And it's your job to pick between the people who you should be around and you shouldn't be around. And um, in that way, you are the combination of the 5 people you spend your most time around because you'll start repeating words that they say. You'll start saying things that they say. And soon after words comes actions. And so you'll start doing what they do. And so if you surround yourself with 5 people who do bad things or things that you don't agree with, you're gonna fall into that pit. But if you surround yourself with people who are good, eventually they will lift you up. Which is exactly what I was saying about a friend of mine who actually knows more than I do about the specific thing that I actually enjoy. That's gonna lift me up because I'm gonna start thinking about that more, start acting on it more, and that will lift me up. But if I'm surrounded by people who all know less than me, and not in an arrogant way, but genuinely just assuming everybody knows a lot of things, if I surround myself with people that know a lot about things that I have no interest in and know very little things that I do have interest in, one, we're probably not going to get along great. And two, I'm not going to enjoy being around them and they're not going to make me want to be better because the things that they like are not the things that I want to be more like. So you have to surround yourself with people who actually are better than you at things that you like to do. And eventually those people will lift you up. It's goes back to the old saying of if you're the smartest one in the room, you are in the wrong room, and it's truer than it could ever be. So that's it. I'm off to bed, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow as always.